everybody. You're now watching Talk with Shauna right here on the Fired Up Network, Female Empowerment Movement. Now, today I have a very special guest. His name is Choclair. He is a Canadian rapper, hip hop legend, 4-time Juno Award winner who put T Dot on the map. And he's also an artist that I am proud to say is a good friend of mine and who I've worked with personally. So, hey, Shox, welcome to the show.
Hello, how are you doing? How you doing? It's great to be here.
I'm good. I'm glad to have you on the show. Now, first off, I just want to ask you, how has your week been going so far?
It's been a busy week, which is not to say that it's a negative busy. It's just more to just say it's been very active, and it's in a way it's kind of good to be active just because over the past couple years for artists like ourselves, it wasn't active at all and you couldn't go anywhere. So then now when you're going out and you're doing appearances and shows and stuff like that, and you get a chance to go and meet the people that support you and stuff like that, so it's good. But it's there's a lot going on, and I'm always here and there and here and there, and but I enjoy it. But it's been a wonderful week, wonderful couple months so far since everything is kind of lightened up a little bit more.
Yeah, it's such a relief having everything open up again now, right? It's like been so crazy over the last couple of years. So yeah, I'm glad to hear things are going well for you this week. So I guess my first question is this. So tell the viewers where you're from originally and where are you currently located?
Well, I'm from Toronto, born and raised up in Scarborough. My background is Jamaican. I've lived there all my life. I've just been all around Toronto for however long I've been around. And currently now I'm out in like near London, Ontario. So it's weird because I don't know anything out around here, which is kind of a good and a bad thing. Bad because I don't know where to find the best pizza shop or shawarma shops, but good because it's nice and quiet how I like it. And growing up around a lot of noise, it's kind of good to just go and have a serenity place where you can just be like chill out, and when you're home and nobody just stops by and knocks on your door. Hey, I was in the neighborhood. There ain't nobody in the neighborhood where I'm at. So it's kind of good that way.
Yeah. It's kind of like your Shangri-La a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm sure a lot of viewers already know who you are. I mean, you're a big name in the industry. But for those who don't, when did you first get involved in the music industry? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, my older brother, when we were growing up in Scarborough, in the between Markham and Lawrence and Markham and Eglinton area, he was into hip hop before I was, and he would be listening to groups like Boogie Down Productions, Rakim, Kool Moe Dee, Grandmaster Flash. I was still listening to that, but I wasn't as heavy into it as he was into it. And he was known as the guy that would be like going into the ciphers and freestyling with other people freestyling. And they knew me through my brother, and they would ask, and they would used to call me Junior, and they'd be like, "Yo, Junior, you're gonna rap like your brother." And I wasn't whatever. I was listening to Quiet Riot and Platinum Blonde and Gerald Levert and Cool in the Gang. Like I was just all over the place listening to everything that just sounded good to me. But I started writing a little bit just because of his influence and him blasting the radio every Saturday at 1 to 4 on 88.1 CKLN with Ron Nelson. So I started getting into a little bit, and then I went to this basement party at 3181 at Markham and Eglinton. And they passed me the mic, and then I just kind of went up and just rapped what I've been writing. And somebody said, "Man, that sounds really cool. Like you should stay at it." And I stayed at it. And then I just continued to keep writing music and whichever, and then caught a fondness for it, and then just started continuously doing it, and just found angles and areas of where I fit in as far as being an MC and a rapper, and it kind of just went from there.
That's cool. That's awesome how you fell right into it like that. But we're glad that you stayed and you did it, because you're a gem. You really are.
Oh,
You are.
thank you.
You put Toronto, you put Tita on the map. So mad respect for you for that. So would you say, did you grow, so you would say probably you grew up in a musical family then, since your brother was doing emceeing as well, right? Would you say? Or
Not so much like as far as like listening to music. Yes, like
yeah.
we used to have maybe the younger people won't really know this stuff, but we used to have this kind of like, it looked like a big, I don't even know what you call it, but a big thing, and it would have like a record and an 8-track player and something like that, and it had this little L, and it would drop records down, like, so it was almost like, so you
Oh,
could continuously play. My mom and my grandmother had one of those, and on like Sundays when we do like Sunday cleaning or something like that after church or something like that, they would always be playing music. So they'd be playing Pat, or now I'm gonna forget their names,
that's
but it was
okay.
like
That's okay.
Pat Boone and Cook and Bob Marley and other things, and it would just play on a Sunday. So like, you know, on a nice sunny day like today, you know, the windows open and whatever, and just records and music would just be playing, so we would hear it. So I don't know if that influenced me to get into music, but there was always music around, you know, because it was just like, just soothing. It was, they would play all these things. So like, I know all these songs that probably a lot of people won't know unless they're of age, like my mom's age, or even like my age, because I was hearing my mom play it.
Right.
Um, yeah, like it was just, it was there, but it wasn't like somebody was teaching how to do stuff and, you know, and whatever. But there was always music around, and it usually was Sundays. It was always Sundays, and that's when we were, you know, go sweep up the thing, clean up your room, do something. But there was always music playing. But I didn't necessarily grow up in a music family per se as creating music, but we always listened to music.
Right, right. So it's in you. It's in your blood, right? It's in your veins. You grew up around it. That's really cool.
Yeah, somewhat. Yes, because yeah, and then that's why I'm into so many different styles of music, just because I listen to everything. And my mom wasn't listening to Quiet Riot, but I was listening to Quiet Riot, and I was listening to Led Zeppelin, and I was listening to Bon Jovi and all these other different groups. And she wasn't listening to that. She was listening to, I was about to say Tom Hanks, Tom whatever. It's so easy, love to go down.
Oh, Tom Jones?
Tom Jones and
Yeah.
other people, and watching Solid Gold on the weekends and stuff like that. So yeah, that's that's kind of how it was.
That's awesome. So you got a bit of everything, which is great. I mean, it's they're all beautiful styles of music. So what would you say is one of your favorite collaborations that you've done over the years? I know you've done a lot of different things. Do you have one that stands out that's your favorite?
I wouldn't say that it would be my favorite, but I would say it's one of my most memorable, and it would be the Suave Dirt Dogs that I did with Socrates and Old Dirty Bastard. Just because of the whole way and how it went down, it was like, it was weird because the connection came together, and it was like awesome that it was happening. And then for some reason they flew us out to LA when they could have flew us to New York, because then ODB and his crew had to fly from New York to LA. So it would have been easier just to go to New York in the first place.
Right.
But just the experience that we had, and talking with him and hearing his experience and the stories that he was telling, and just being in the room as we were creating. And he was very cool about the creative aspect of what we were doing and all that. That would be one of the ones that really stand out. But then, you know, I've done songs with Guru from Gangstar, and I remember doing that, and then bumping into Black Moon. And those guys were like, oh, nobody ever says you're from Toronto. They always just say, oh, you from Canada. And they always say
Right.
Canada weird to me. I don't know. It's they say, when they always talk about, like, we say a boot and all this other stuff,
Yeah.
they say Canada weird to me. Like, it's like, you're pronouncing it wrong.
Or like Canada or like Canada,
Yeah, they just
yeah.
they just say it weird. And then I bumped into Tony Touch, and then that said why at the end of the track there's the scratching, because he was like, man, I really like this track. And people that I was listening to at the time, because we were working out of this studio called D&D Studios, which was a big hip hop studio back there, and all the artists would go there. Like, they would all go to that studio, and they were all at that studio, and they were all listening to what I was doing. I did a track with Memphis Bleak from The Rock with Jay-Z and everybody like that, also that weekend.
Nice.
And yeah, and people would just come in the room, like they just poke their head in and be like, who's in this room right now? And then they would introduce it, and people didn't know who I was at the time. I was just coming up. And they'd be like, oh, Choclair, where you from? I was like, I'm from Toronto. Oh, you from Canada? Like, well, Toronto, like, Canada's a big place. Like, we're the third biggest country in the world, right? Like, just
right.
to let you know. So
yeah.
There's a lot of places in Canada.
Right.
So yeah, but outside of all of that, it would be the ODB collaboration, because just the experience and the conversations and the joy and the time that we had, and just the memories I had, would be my one of the ones that stick out to me for sure.
Yeah, that's epic. I mean, that is just epic. I remember you telling me that you were going to go see Wu-Tang like a couple of years ago, I think it was. And I was like, you didn't tell me you're going. Like, why didn't you tell me?
Yeah,
like, that's epic. So yeah, I mean, that I understand why that stands out for you. So I was recently actually made aware, because you and I were filming a video last weekend for my song Fresh Start, featuring you, of course. And you were telling me that you recently started Made to Move Mountains outreach. And I thought that was really awesome. And I'm like, this is really cool. So I wanted to know, when did you start this, and what is it all about? Tell our viewers what's happening with that.
So Made to Move Mountains, it was a song that I did back, and I think it was 2010, 2013, in between, roughly around that time. And between that time, I was going through a lot within myself. Like, I was struggling a lot with just with depression and whichever. And people would think sometimes that, like, you're doing all of this, so how come this pops into your head and this, that, and whatever. And I don't have an explanation for that, other than the fact that I knew that I was dealing with it, and I needed, but through help from family, friends, and others, really helped me get through that very tough period in my life. And I remember, because at the time I was living in Brampton, and I remember sitting over at there's this place out there called Professor's Lake, and I went to Professor's Lake, and I was just sitting on this big log by the lake or whatever. I don't know how and why the words came to me and whichever, but I ended up writing this song called Made to Move Mountains. I was able to shoot the video and do the song, and for a lot of people, it really touches a lot of people. It touches me a lot, especially when I perform it. And so then I ended up meeting this lady named Kathy Edwards down in Leamington, which is just outside of Windsor. And she had some places where she deals with people because of her experience, because she has a daughter that has a very strong addiction and mental illness and stuff like that. So we kind of connected on that level, because she could see certain things of what was in me at the time, because I was still just kind of getting out of it, and she could relate it to like how her daughter, who was directly stuck in it. And so we just started hanging out, talking, and she was very helpful and supportive of me and everything. And then we just came up with this idea because she heard the song and she really liked the song. She liked the message behind it. She liked everything. And so we came up with this idea called Made to Move Mountains Outreach. because we believe everybody out there is made to move mountains. Everybody has a purpose in life, even if they don't see it, and even if it's tragic, and if it's triumphant, it has a purpose and it means something. And so we ended up calling our outreach, where we collect for homeless people. We raise funds so we can go and buy them jackets, blankets. Well, maybe not now because it's so hot, but in the winter we do winter drives and jackets, blankets, just all the things that, and especially the little things that sometimes you don't really think of: feminine products, toothbrushes, deodorant, bars of soap, shampoo, whatever. And we called it Made to Move Mountains Outreach. And then now so she just is renaming one of her home shelters that she has out there, and it's going to be called the Made to Move Mountains Outreach Center, I believe, but I know it's called Made to Move Mountains Outreach. I just forget if it's called Center Lodging or whatever it's called. I'm forgetting, but we did it, and it was just based off of the fact that I went through it. And, and it's not a cool thing. Like it's a dark place. Like it's a really dark place. And then when I go and I meet the residents that she currently has, they kind of are cool with me because they know that I get it.
Right.
And then when I see them, I get where they're at, and they know I don't judge. I just try to talk, and, like, it's like, I'm out of that self-harm situation that I was in before. And some of them might still be in it, or maybe they're gradually getting out of it, or maybe they're just getting into it.
Yeah.
But they have somebody that gets it. Like, it's not an academic study program coming at them like, well, the book says that if you do this is like, no, I know what you're doing, and F the books. I know and I understand what you're thinking of, and how you might wake up in the morning, how you might fall asleep at night, how you might feel. You might have a good day and you might have a horrible day. I get it. And then so I get along a lot with the residents there. And that's the thing. Oh, 1 second. I'm going to show you something. Hold on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I completely get where you're coming from, because I've actually had my own experiences with depression, anxiety. I've done shows on the network about it, about how people shouldn't feel that they can't talk about it, that they can't. And I try to make it known to everybody too, because there's still such a stigma around that subject, right? And so I think the more we make it accessible to everybody, and we talk about it, and we say it's okay, you can go and get help for that. You can go talk to a doctor. It's the same thing as having like a broken arm. We should treat it the same way. And it should be that open of a conversation, right?
Yeah, well, because in a way it's kind of like people will feel like they're weak,
Yeah.
and stuff. So that's why there's the stigma, because it's like, well, why can't you just like, it's a nice sunny day, just go out and take a walk. But nice sunny day might be something that triggers something for whatever reason,
Right.
And whichever. And so we do a lot in sorry for this selfless promo, but like this is the stuff that we do.
What I want you to do. Oh, cool.
So we do stuff like this. Where am I? There we are. Made to Move Mountains. We did barbecue for the homeless, and that's
Awesome.
our thing. Yeah. That's our.
Let me just see. Oh, perfect. Okay. Yeah.
There we go. Our Made to Move Mountains outreach, and that's our thing. Help us help others. Thank you for helping us help others. We have hot sauce.
That's awesome.
We have wine.
Oh, that's so awesome. This is great.
And then we sign them, and we don't take any administrative costs or anything. Anything that we raise goes directly to helping them get better, and everything. And that's one of the things that we do, and I'm very proud of that. I'm proud at the fact that I'm going to have a home named after a song that I did that helped me get myself better. And I want to thank everybody down there in Leamington, Kathy Edwards, Mr. Jim, and everybody, Leamington Lodge at Seniors and at Essex, because we really are trying to do what we can. And we are doing the best that we can down there, and it works. So yeah, that's where Made to Move Mountain. So it started as a song, and now it turned into a whole outreach movement and everything. And it's wonderful to see, and it's wonderful to see that people, when they hear the song, they actually go and say like, "Oh man, like this song really touched me," and everything. And and really, when I first created the song, it was an outlet for me to go and tell myself that I was better than the way I was thinking about myself at that moment.
Absolutely. I mean, that song has such an amazing message. And I just love how it's affecting people, and you have a great impact on people with what you're doing with the song and with the outreach. So that's amazing. Um, so basically, you've told me, my next question was what inspired you, and you basically told me that already. Why did you choose Leamington to do the outreach? Was there a specific reason to do it there? I know you said out there you have a bit more quiet time and it's a bit more quiet out there. Is that one of the reasons why you are doing it in that area, would you say? Or
No, I didn't even choose. It was
mm,
like they kind of chose me.
mm,
Like I'm in between. So I'm about an hour and, so let's say 2 hours from Leamington and 2 hours from Toronto.
right.
And so I'm just outside of London. And they kind of chose me because I didn't choose to do it. It was just because of the relationship that I started to get with Kathy Edwards. Was it just ended up happening that way? Like, like it wasn't specifically
Mm,
like, here's the spot, I'm going to do it. She was already doing something, and she needed help doing her thing, because like Leamington is it's like a small rich town that has like tons of greenhouses. Like there's a big Heinz ketchup. It's called something else now. I forget what it's called, but it's like the like Heinz ketchup warehouse is there.
right, right.
And then they grow vegetables, this, that. It's greenhouses. All you see is F-150, Dodge, Ram trucks, everything. Like everybody, big trucks, big everything, and a lot of migrant workers,
Mm,
like everywhere. And then a lot of homeless, because it's either you're on top or you're at the bottom, very little in the middle.
right.
And so she was the only person out there taking care of the people at the bottom. And unfortunately, because of the town, that it's small town, but a rich small town, they want to sweep all these other people under the rugs. And she would tell me, and we would go out and walk and look. When we go out and we walk around with food baskets and bags of food to give away, we would see, especially over the winter, a lot of people, they're sleeping in uh, in car washes, and they turn on the heat so they can get the steam, so at least that they're
Mm,
warm. Like I would just see it, and there's a lot of help, although not enough help in like a city like Toronto or Hamilton or something like that. But in a city like Leamington, that's a small, rich town where it's easy to just go and we don't want them here and push them away. They just push them off to another county. It
mm,
was like, I was just like, you know what? Like, let's go and stand up for some of these people here, because they don't have anywhere to go. A lot of them don't even have families. Like a lot of them, unfortunately, they get buried by themselves. There's no family comes to their funeral. Kathy, not necessarily me, because I'm not always down there, but I do go down there quite often. Um, she has to go and set up the service for them, and there's
mm,
nobody that shows up for them because they just, whatever the reason is. And so I didn't pick it for any reason whatsoever. It just happened that that's who I met, and that was the situation that was going on. And she helped me, and I'm just there trying to help her do what she could do, that people did for me, to help me get through my struggles when I was going through it. So yeah, so it wasn't a pick or anything. But
mm.
Toronto has its stuff, and they have a lot of things going on. Maybe not, probably not enough, but like a city like Leamington has nothing.
Right.
So, it's like let's go and help them out type thing. That's
That's
why I
amazing.
ended up working down there with that.
That's so cool. That's amazing. Is it a government funded outreach, would you say, or is it more of a private outreach?
It's very private because she used to have, and going back again to the way that I was saying is like, she's one of the only ones in that they want to go and try and clean up the area or whatever. They restricted her. They pulled her funding. So
Mm,
now she used to be funded and now not anymore. So everything
mm,
that she does, it comes directly through our fundraising. And, yeah, it just sucks. Like there's like, I was reading, it was almost like 200 pages of minutes of county meetings and stuff like that, and documents and paperwork. And literally they're just like, we just don't want to fund it because we don't want that image to be seen. And it's a little bit dicey in the way that you look at it, because if you go down to Leamington, especially like a day like today when it's hot, it's a Friday, which is usually a payday,
yeah.
you'll see a lot of migrant workers they're lined up in front of CIBC, they're lined up in front of Money Mart, because a lot of times they send the money back to their families
Right.
and
Of course.
everything.
Yeah.
And so they're working for their families back home and just getting by when they're doing here. And they're trying to not make it look like, I actually think that it looks really cool because of the diversity, even though it's, but yeah, like, yeah, there's just, I don't know. It's a weird situation, but I'm happy that I'm there to go and support. And then it's great because when I go down there, they're always like, people will go and look at me like, "Hey, Shocks, you back? What are you up to? What's going on?" And I'm like, "Man, I'm just here." And they're like, "When you gonna do another show out here?" And I'm like, "I don't know. When you gonna buy my record?"
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No, that's awesome. I love to hear how it came about, because it's such a cool story that you have, that it came about. Now, how can we get involved? How can the viewers take part, and how can we contribute to the cause?
Definitely on Facebook. You could go, it's a group page. We're setting up more. We're just like a year into it, and we've
Mm,
been kind of figuring out ourselves through everything over the past little bit.
wow. Did you hear that?
Yes,
Wow.
somebody got a
Okay.
muscle car outside your door
Yeah,
over
yeah,
there.
yeah.
um, so there's you go to Facebook and you go to our group page. It's called Made to Move Mountains Outreach. Our website is called Made to Move Mountains Outreach at gmail.com. We take donations, we take volunteers to help us when we do like certain events. Like on before I was at your video shoot on Sunday, I was in Windsor doing a raffle draft where we were giving away stuff at Poutine Fest in Windsor. So I got Windsor, and then I get back home, and then I'm like, oh, I got to be here by 10. So I'm leaving at 7 to get downtown Toronto to go and do all this other stuff.
Right.
And so they can help out by going to Made to Move Mountains Outreach at gmail.com. If they want to just go and reach out to me, they can reach out to me through multiple social media sites that I have, like on Facebook, it's Choclair Chisnak, or Choclair. On Twitter, it's Choclair. At Instagram, it's Choclair Official. And just say, okay, I would love to go and help out. And that's one of the things how we ended up doing last year in November when we had our winter drive, when we were raising money. And we weren't even really raising money. We just wanted donations of like coats, jackets, sleeping bags, socks, deodorant, toothbrushes, this, that, and everything else.
Yes.
And we did it at Free Play Toronto. And it was just people that saw what I was doing and saw that what I was connected to, and then they wanted to go and help out. So you can help out in any way. And I say it to everybody. I say any help is appreciated, and all help is appreciated. Like to the littlest thing that you do, even if you repost something that we have up there and doing, that all helps. And we appreciate any type of help that we could do. And those are the things. That's one of my things that I'm really, really strong into. And like I said, it's like they're renaming one of the places that they're going to house people unfortunately, because funding was cut for them and now it's all private funding, they had to, there's some people that they can't take care of and they're trying to find places for them to go. But the
Right.
one house that they are dealing with is now going to be called the Made to Move Mountains Outreach. I believe it's called Living Center or something like that. I got to get the last two words together because I don't know what the last two words are. I forget. I was told, but I forget. And that's all based off of what we are doing. And it's just amazing. And anything that anybody can do is always appreciated, to the littlest thing, even if you send us the lint roller brush, because there's people that want to go and get jobs and we need to go and put them in a tie.
Yes.
If you got a tie, or a suit jacket, like anything, it all helps. And that's one of the things that we're trying to do. And the people that are working with us, they're very they do a lot of really good work. And I don't want to say that I'm just a face, because I'm down there and I do a lot of work with them as well and help fundraise and everything. But there's a lot of other people that do more work than I do down there, and they deserve all the props of everything that they do, because they do a ton of work and they're there on the front line every single day.
That's so amazing. It's such a great cause. It really is. And I'm very happy. Anything I can do too, I'm definitely on board. And if anyone wants to get a hold of me, if they have any questions about how they can help out, you can contact me as well. So my next question is this. Do you have, I'm sure you must have, any special moments or stories that stand out for you since starting the Made to Move Mountains outreach? Is there a story that stands out to you about something that's happened along the way since you started?
Well, there's tons. I could just say, because it happens multiple times, is just the people that I meet. And when I'm just randomly walking around in Leamington and somebody would come up to me and be like, man, thank you for what you do. Like, I don't know who they are. I wouldn't know that they knew what I was doing, because I'm I'm in front of the scene, but much more behind the scene and everything. I'm more a part of the organization. I am somewhat of the face, but I'm not down there every day, right? Like gas is $2.10, so
Yeah,
trying to go down there all the time.
I hear you.
But they will recognize me and they'll be like, yeah, you're doing your thing. And then and even just when I get messages, like people that will post like Monday motivational song, and they'll put up Made to Move Mountains. And I listen to people be like, I listen to this when I go to the gym, and I listen to this and I do that and whatever. And when I'm doing shows, and people will come up to me and be like, when I do Made to Move Mountains, and like as soon as that, I don't even know what that sound is. I don't think it's a bass. Maybe it's like some type of keyboard. That first note, those whatever that note is. I don't know. G-Vine did it, so I don't know what note it was or sound it was. But as soon as it comes on, then certain people will go and make a lot of noise about it, and they'll tell me like, yo, that song, it touches me, it's such a powerful song. And those are the things that stand out to me. And just people in general, like there's it gives me faith of believing there's a lot more good people than there is bad people in the world. And unfortunately sometimes people meet up with bad people in the world, but the good people there, they're really good. And it's great to go and meet them and see them. And they show me love. And it's a wonderful feeling. It humbles me. And that's why I don't know, my head might be big in size, but my head is not big in ego.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, like that's amazing. It's good that you're so humble. And like I said, I agree with you in the fact that it's just amazing to have that connection with people and be able to contribute and touch their lives, and see that it's making a difference. So that's really great. So what does a typical day in the life of Choclair the rapper, the outreach startup founder look like? Is it something different every day? I mean, what would you say?
Um, it is always something different every day. Like I get up and I usually have an egg sandwich with cheese.
That's good
Um,
to know in case I need to get you breakfast
yeah,
sometime. Okay.
yeah,
Uh,
egg sandwich with cheese, and then I usually just I go on my computer, answer messages, and make connections. Um, when I'm not on the road, but a lot of times I am always on the road. Um, I try to just take it easy and just work from home. Like it's there might be days where I'll pick where I'm just like I just throw my phone aside and I don't even see who calls or whatever. I'll check it tomorrow type thing,
right.
and I'll do that. But for the most part, I'm always working every day. It's like I go into my office. It's just my office is my living room,
Right.
and I'll
Yes.
go and just do work from there. But yeah, but like uh, I don't. I don't stress myself out
Mm.
because
Yes.
working is a lot of work, and then I do a lot of traveling. So, like for me, like I'm going to Tweed this Saturday,
Oh,
and
fun.
yeah, and that's like 5 hours for me
Okay. Yeah.
one way.
Yes.
So one way I'm going to Tweed, and then I got to go and do that, and then come back, and then and it's I just try to go and just keep myself calm and keep myself in what was it on Seinfeld where they say serenity now, and just
Yes.
keep cool and calm. Watch this. I get frustrated because I keep losing at my video games. I play a lot of sports video games. I'm in the middle of a baseball series right now, and for some reason I can't get past the Yankees. So that frustrates me, but it frustrates me to the point where I just pull out the USB key and I walk over
Yeah.
and grab a lemonade, and then I'm good. And then I'm good. And then I just watch something on Netflix. So I try to take it easy. I try to balance my life out in between
That's good.
stress and non-stress. And
Yes.
but yeah, but that's usually my day. But other than that, for the most part, I'm usually on the road. I'm traveling. I'm doing whichever, or I'm connecting and working out stuff with Made to Move Mountains, or I'm doing something here or doing something there. So
Yeah. Well, I know
yeah,
you did the Canadian Classic tour, right? I remember you that was that a few years ago? Yeah, that would have been before COVID for sure. That seemed like it was a pretty big tour.
it was like 2018. It was a huge tour, right? It was
Yeah.
probably one of the biggest all Canadian nationwide tour ever because like you've done shows before too as well, and like sometimes the shows don't start till 11, 10, 12, even like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was one of these things that started at 8, ended at 11, and it was one of the best things that I ever been on because
Awesome.
I was able to be done by 11, not 2 o'clock in the morning, and then wake up and have to travel 8 hours to the next city.
Right.
And it was me classified in Maestro, and it was a wonderful tour. And
Amazing.
yeah, like it was really good. And actually, look here, I even have this
Oh,
here.
let's see. Let's see.
Oh, if I can grab it from the tour.
Oh, let's see.
This
Let's
was
see.
the last day with
Oh,
everybody signing it. This
oh,
is a
that's
Canadian Classic tour. I have the
that
flag.
is so awesome. That's epic.
Oh
Oh,
my
I love
gosh.
that. I
Should
love
I
that.
should I NFT this or something? Like there's
You
me,
should
there's
NFT it.
there's
Oh my goodness.
classified,
Yes. Like
everybody
NFT is
that
where
was
it's
on
at
the
right
tour.
now. Like, why not? Right?
Yeah, like so
That's awesome.
I still have that flag that I just dropped on the floor. But I still have all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was a really great tour. I think it solidified myself, Maestro, and Classified, and other people that were a part of the tour that I may have just met because of the tour,
Yeah.
and people that I knew from just solidified our strength within each other. and it was wonderful. And I think anybody that came to that tour, the shows, they thought it was great. It was
Oh
like
yeah.
so many sold out shows, big venues, and it just went to go improve that. Like people support Canadian hip hop in a way. Like even if it's not as much exposed in the American market and stuff like that, they still support it, even though it's within the Canadian market, and it was really great.
Absolutely. So how do you feel that COVID affected the music industry? Um, do you find that, or how did it affect the mental health and homelessness situation? Going through COVID the last few years.
Well, I think as far as the music, like a lot of people were able to, if they had home studios, they were able to go and they recorded a lot. But
Yeah.
the one thing is that you record and you release the music, but if you're not able to go out there and promote it, do the shows and promote the song, it comes and then it goes in a way, because everybody's doing it. So you kind of get lost in the sauce
Yeah.
type thing, because you're not out there pushing the songs. You can't really promote it. So, and especially not being able to perform, like you couldn't go to anything, like when venues are shut down or they're half capacity, and like it was just everything that was happening was just anybody, as they call gig workers, which would
Mm,
be artists, musicians and stuff, like people who perform, musicians, ventriloquists, or whatever, that
yeah.
perform out in public squares and in public clubs and stuff like that. It hit hard a lot for a lot of people. And then now that things are kind of opening up now, it's like you got almost like people remember you, but it's almost like you got to reintroduce yourself, and then you got to reintroduce what you did over the past 2 years. And it was
Yeah.
2 years. Like it wasn't like, oh, that was just 4 weeks or 6 weeks or 3 months. Just
Yeah.
2 years. It was
Years.
2 years that you couldn't do anything. And so I think that had a big effect. But I think one of the greatest things is that people now, they're hungry again to go and see live performances. So they're eager to. So then when they go in and be like, oh, so and so is going to be here, they're like, I got to go because I haven't seen him in whatever. And it could have been years before that. But at least at this point, it's like I haven't seen him in 2 years. I kind of heard a song here. Like I was doing an interview just, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? 2 days ago, Tuesday. And some of the songs that are released, he's like, what? You did a song with ODB? What? You did a song with what? What? Whatever. And then now he's like posting all these songs. And now I'm getting all these things. I never heard this song. And I was like, yeah, well, take it in.
Yeah.
And those are some of the reasons that's really helping to go and get me back on the road. As far as like the mental health, yeah, well, they tell you can't see your family, you can't see your whatever, whether
Mm,
you're into it or you're not, whatever. I'm not debating the mask or unmasked or vaccination or unvaccination, but the fact that, like the divisions that came within people's families, like if you have an older parent, they might be like, don't come and see me. Like you used to see people waving hi to their grandmothers between glass windows
yeah.
and stuff like that. And it's like, and it's hard. You don't do their Thanksgiving, you can't do Christmas, you can't do all these gatherings, your summer vacations, your whatever, or just your friends. And then if you're just like a solo person on your own and go out and meet friends, and then you just feel like you're stuck in your house,
Yeah.
like it could have it will have an impact on that. And hopefully now that things are opening up more now and is more out there and people get a chance to go out there. And as it's been like over the past 2 days, man, I think it was like almost 40 degrees the past
Yeah.
couple of days. It's so
Definitely.
humid and hot. So people are going to be out and about and go and meet people and talk to people and everything. Hopefully that helps relieve that a little bit. But I think it had a lot. But that was the problem, was that it was a pandemic and it was an
Yeah.
issue. And, and it was something new and people need to go and figure it out and try to stay safe. Like in the States, they had 1 million people die. And here, I don't know, there's hundreds of thousands. And, it's like, it's one of those things that I don't have the magic wand to spark my brain to figure out the solution or what we should have done or
Right. Yes. Yes.
what,
Absolutely.
you
Absolutely.
know.
Well, what was good is you and I got to do that track during COVID, which was awesome, right? Our Fresh Start track. So just going to plug that again. We just did the
Yeah,
video
Fresh
for
Start.
it
Yeah.
past
We got to do the
weekend.
track.
It's going to be coming out soon. So we did manage to do that, which was good, a positive thing. So my next question is this: where do you hope to see yourself? And of course, this outreach that you're doing, the Made to Move Mountains outreach, in the next 5 years, let's say.
Well, in the next 5 years, as far as Made to Move Mountains outreach, I hope that we will have the funds to be able to help as many more people that we are helping right now be recognized, if not nationally, internationally, that we actually do really good work and help everybody that we can and everything. And that if people, which they already do, one of the things that Kathy gets in trouble for is that people who are not a resident of where of one of the lodges or the places that she has that goes and houses people, she will go, they'll come up to the back door and she will go and give them leftover dinner from last night, or if she'll make extra breakfast and whatever. But then the town gets mad because they're like, well, you're encouraging people to come up. And it's like, well, if people are hungry,
Right.
you're
Yes.
not going to give them something to eat. And
Yeah.
she gets in trouble from the municipality for doing that, which is bizarre to me, because they know that's the only place where they can go. So hopefully we can go and help more people. Maybe we can go and set up places in other cities, other provinces and whatever, and go and make the Made to Move Mountains outreach a national thing, if not an international thing.
Yes.
To go and be able to help people that need help. Because everybody needs help once in a while in their life. Everybody needs something. Like,
That's true.
Biggie wouldn't be where he was if it wasn't for Puffy.
Right.
Drake wouldn't be anywhere if it wasn't for Lil Wayne.
Yep.
Nicki Minaj wouldn't have been anywhere if it wasn't for Nicki Minaj. Jay-Z wouldn't have been anywhere if it wasn't for Jaz-O. Like, everybody needs a little bit of opportunity.
Absolutely. I completely agree.
And so we trying to go and do that. As far as me, myself, I was just watching this luxury yacht show the other day, and yachts are like $250 million. So I probably will never buy one, but I would like to just stretch out on one in 5 years, with a drink with an umbrella in it, strawberry in the sword that they put the swords through the strawberry, not a strawberry, a cherry, and just be comfortable, like just live life. Life was hard, and I don't want to make it harder. I want to make it easier as I get into my older years, and just be comfortable, have good friends, have good times, laugh a lot, love a lot, and just be around. That's next 5 years. Those are my goals. And maybe scratch and win like $250 million at Lotto Max. That would be good too.
There you go. You know my number, Shocks. Come on now. Share the goods. No, that's good. That's amazing. I think it's a great cause, and if, like I said, if I can help it in any way, I'd love to. Maybe we can do another show. You can give me updates about what's happening with the cause.
Absolutely, and and if you could just let them know about the Made to Move Mountains, and that we have stuff like wine, hot sauce, and we did we just, and like again, it's like we don't take administrative costs. There's nobody. We don't pay secretary fees and administration fees and commercial fees. Every single cent that comes in goes towards that. Like every single cent. And it's not just money. Like, we're not always just asking. You got jackets, shoes, toothbrushes, whatever, everything, anything, because people need these things. And
Yes, they
so
do.
it's not, we're not clamoring for money. Money helps, because then we go and buy that stuff.
Right.
But if you have other things like that, like, that's actually more important than the money, because like, it's summer now and whatever, but like in a few months now we're going to be going back into winter.
Yes.
And then now we got to go into winter, and they're going to need sleeping bags, sweaters, and the things to get them through the winter, because when it got really cold in January, February, it got really cold.
Yes.
And I could only just imagine how hard it was for people that were on the streets when it was really cold.
Absolutely. And none of us know, it could happen to anyone at any time in your life. We never know if we're going to be on the street one day or not. No one knows where we're going to be. You know what I mean? And we all have to help each other. That's what we're here for, for each other, to help each other.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So before we go, can you let us know where we can find you on social media again? Viewers, I'd love for you to take part in this movement that we've got going on. So where can we find you? How can we help again? If you can just tell everybody where we can find you on social media.
So on social media, so on Twitter, you can find me just at Choclair. So if you go to twitter.com/Choclair, you'll find me there.
Awesome.
On Facebook, you can find me at Choclair Official. I have a few. So for Facebook, it's like Choclair Official. That's my fan page. Then there's Choclair Chisnock, which is kind of like my personal page.
Okay.
Then I have a Choclair fan page. So if you look that up, and then also at Made to Move Mountains on Facebook. And then that's the outreach page. On Instagram, it's Choclair Official. And on YouTube, it's Choclair Official. And then you'll see all the videos that you'll be like, oh, I forgot about that song. Oh, yeah. And then you'll see all of those in there. And yeah, like that on social media, that's where you could find me all the time. I try to respond. I understand that sometimes if you're not like friends or following or whatever, it goes into like requested messages or sometimes, and whichever end. So it might take me a little bit of more time because it's just not on the top of my mind to go to those ones. But I do, and then I do actually respond. I actually respond back to people when I get a chance, and however I get a chance to go and do it. So yeah, and then if there is a response, yes, it's me. It's not like some handler or something like that. It is me.
Yeah, it's you.
Yeah.
It's actually you. Okay.
Yeah.
And I am talking to actually you right now, right? I'm just checking.
Oh yeah. Well, hold on. Let me take off this. Let me just hold on. Come back with a different face.
No, that's awesome. And also too, if people want to contact me at SHONNA Music 111 for my Instagram, you can always ask me, and I can connect you to Choclair and also Made to Move Mountains outreach as well. So listen, I want to say thank you so much, Shocks, for being on the show. You're a great friend. You're a great artist. I love working with you. I'm excited for our song to come out. And I just want to say thanks again for being on the show. Thanks for everyone watching Talk with Shonna right here on the Fired Up Network, Female Empowerment Movement. So thanks.
Take care, okay? Take care, everybody.
Bye, my friend.
One love. I'll talk to you soon. Okay. Everybody, peace. Soon. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you. Okay. Bye.
Goodbye.